So the day's finally here. We got the Nintendo Direct that everybody's been awaiting for September, and I'll say it was solid, depending on what type of fan you are. But to be honest, for myself, I did it again. I got my expectations up, like people say don't do, and I was unfortunately disappointed. I also, even some of the other announcements that didn't happen that other people thought would happen that I didn't necessarily care for, those didn't happen either. But if you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe below, leave a like on this video. I put up content every day during the week, Monday through Friday. There's always plenty to look at on this channel. But let's get right into the Nintendo Direct. So I actually did film like a live reaction to the Direct, but my computer is not having it as far as like streaming and everything. So yeah, the quality was way too choppy. So instead, we're just gonna do like a recap on the Direct and just everything we saw that happened. So going in order, the first thing that happened with the Direct that we saw was we opened up with Fire Emblem Engage. So there's been, leaks and rumors pretty much just all confirming that there would be a new Fire Emblem game coming out for the Nintendo Switch, and it was actually announced. So it is actually set to release early next year on January 20th, 2023. And of course, in Fire Emblem fashion, especially most of these Switch games, it is coming with a collector's edition that looks really, really cool. And I'm sure a lot of collectors are going to be grabbing it. I'm not particularly a Fire Emblem fan or any type of like turn-based or strategy RPG, but I'm more of an action RPG or action JRPG fan, more of the hack and slash style. But Fire Emblem's definitely picking up a lot of steam over the last couple of years, and a lot of fans, I'm sure, are happy about this announcement. Next up, we had It Takes Two, which a few people predicted would be coming to the Switch, and I think it just makes complete sense. It's a good couch co-op game. You can play over local multiplayer, and most people actually do have multiple Switches in their house. It's not like a traditional home console where you have one PlayStation or one Xbox or even one Wii. It's like the Switch is kind of like it's that new Game Boy, basically. Like it's the handheld, but it's also the the home console as well. So It Takes Two will be coming out on November 4th this year, and pre-orders are already available today. I haven't played it. I wanted to play on the Xbox because it is on Game Pass, but my wife's not really into it, and I can never find anyone online to play with. So maybe I'll pick it up for Switch, but most likely not. Next, we got Fatal Frame coming over to the West. It's already come out in Japan. It looks pretty much like, if you ever heard of Outlast on the PlayStation 4, it looks a lot like that. This creepy mystery ghost type of game, and use a camera and a flashlight to expose and get the secrets and all that kind of stuff. But they didn't have a concrete release date, but it will be coming early 2023. Next up, we got Xenoblade Chronicles 3 got the expansion pass, that's Volume 2, for introducing a new character called Ino, who's a robotic fighter, and new challenges that will be coming out with the second wave of the expansion pass for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and it will be releasing on October 13th. Xenoblade is one of those popular franchises for Nintendo as of the last few years. I did pick up Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition for the Switch not too long ago. I do plan on getting into the franchise. Again, I'm not like a huge RPG fan or JRPG fan, but it is more of the action style, even though it has the party members, similar to Final Fantasy, specifically Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I've been playing recently, and I do intend to get into the franchise. Next, we had a few like different games that are more for, I guess, the family side of things. We had a SpongeBob game, this fitness boxing game, as well as a free-to-play Ubisoft game that's supposed to come out early next year. But then we got the announcement that Tunic will be coming to Nintendo Switch. This was another prediction that some people did get right. So Tunic actually was on Game Pass, and I never beat it because of just the first boss is actually a little too hard for me. But I do plan to get back into it. I love Zelda. It is very similar to it. It has its own charm and art style to it, and it's really a great game. If you haven't played it yet, I definitely recommend getting it on any system, but definitely on the Switch, as it does seem like a Switch game, if you know what I mean. And it will be coming out on September 27th, so only 2 weeks away. You'll be able to play Tunic on Nintendo Switch. You got a bunch of like gardening sim game announcements coming up that I don't really have any interest in. We got Fae Farm, Story of Seasons, games like this that honestly I don't know. I'm sure there's an audience for it, but that they just weren't for me. But we also got an announcement of the first Splatfest for Splatoon 3. So Splatoon already sold over 3.5 million copies in Japan within the first 3 days, which is insanely good for that franchise. And Nintendo's definitely, hit their stride as far as having an exclusive and very unique third-person shooter. So that will be running from September 23rd to the 25th. So that will be next weekend, and I'm sure it's going to be a great turnout. Next up, which was I think a very unexpected announcement, was we got the sequel to Octopath Traveler. So Octopath Traveler 2 is coming out with 8 all-new characters. They're all their own classes and their own story. So, I think it's very interesting how a lot of these games have these multiple storylines and different characters, and they all just kind of come together into one storyline at one point, and they meet up. And I think that's very impressive that these studios are able to make these types of games. Square Enix has definitely found this stride, and a lot of the games announced today were actually for Square Enix for the Nintendo Switch. And Octopath Traveler was very popular amongst a lot of people. I never played it again because of the turn-based mechanics of it. The only turn-based RPG I've honestly played is probably Pokemon. But this new HD 2D style that's been coming out over the last couple of years has definitely benefited a lot of these games. These 16-bit classic looking games with the 3D backgrounds is definitely a sight to behold. But Octopath Traveler 2 will be dropping on February 24th, 2023. Then after that, we got a new trailer for the sequel to Mario and Rabbids, which comes out on September 30th. So Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. We got the pre-order, a look at the gold edition coming out in the season pass. So Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, a lot of people are looking forward to this game. I even seem kind of interested in it just from watching it. I haven't seen any of it. I didn't play the original or anything, but definitely a game that a lot of people are looking forward to, and they'll be able to play it in just a few short weeks. Then, of course, as predicted, there was an announcement for some new Nintendo 64 games coming to Nintendo Switch Online. So those games were Pilot Wings 64, Mario Party, Mario Party 2, and Mario Party 3, which are considered some of the best in the series, Pokemon Stadium and Pokemon Stadium 2, 1080 snowboarding, Excite Bike 64, and then the big one that everybody's been waiting for, Goldeneye 007 with online play. So there was no specific day for a lot of these. Pilot Wings and the first 2 Mario Party games are slated for 2022, and then the rest are releasing next year, but GoldenEye just said coming soon, so we're not exactly sure when that's going to come out. It may have to tie in with whenever the Xbox version comes out, but that still remains to be seen. Next, we gotta look at the booster course for Wave 3 for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, with some cards with some stages like Merry Mountain from Mario Kart Tour, and then Peach Gardens from Mario Kart DS. I haven't been on Mario Kart 8 in a while, even though I know the game is excellent and it's been lasting for almost 10 years at this point. I also had Mario Kart DS and I thought it played really well. That was probably one of my first games playing online, that along with Pokemon Diamond, so just early in the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection series of games back then. But definitely good to see the content still coming out continuously, and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe just keep making Nintendo more money. Then kind of out of nowhere, which I think I've maybe heard a few people announce it or predict that it would come out at some point, was Pikmin 4. So we saw Pikmin Bloom for the mobile devices, but then we got a announcement for Pikmin 4 to come out next year. I personally have not been a fan of Pikmin. I never played the games, but I know a few people have been waiting for this, and it kind of seemed like a no-brainer to kind of bring this franchise over to Nintendo Switch. But no release date as of yet, but it will be coming out in 2023. Then next up, we got a little bit more footage of the Harvestella fighting slash life simulator RPG coming from Square Enix that will be launching later this year. We also saw that there will be a demo available at the end of today, which will allow you to bring your save data and carry it over to the full game should you choose to buy it. So it doesn't hurt, just download the demo, see if you like the game. If you don't, you don't. If you do, you can bring over your save state and continue the game when it fully releases later this year. Then next up, which was a big game for Nintendo that a lot of people were waiting for and super hype on, was we got a new trailer for Bayonetta 3. So it showed a few of the allies that Bayonetta will be fighting with, coming from the other two games, and just re-emphasizing that the game will be coming out on October 28th this year, so next month, just in time for Halloween with the theme of the game. And a lot of people are hyped for it. I honestly, it's one of those games that I actually bought the original Bayonetta on Xbox 360. Well, when I had my Xbox One and I bought the 360 version, I think it was like $20. I never finished it, but it was definitely really fun. I'm a huge fan of Devil May Cry and hack and slash games, so it was a no-brainer for me to buy that game. I didn't finish it, but I was thinking of getting the 1 and 2 double pack. I think it's $60 on the Switch eShop, so I'm just waiting for that to kind of maybe possibly go on sale. If not, I'll probably just grab it so I can have all 3 games just right there on my Nintendo Switch. Then we got an announcement of a bunch of Resident Evil games coming to the Switch, kind of. So the cloud versions of Resident Evil 8 or Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 7, the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake will be coming to the Nintendo Switch. So a free demo of Resident Evil Village actually is available right now on the eShop, and the rest of the games will launch as well. The cloud games will be launching later this year. We also saw that Sifu will be heading to the Switch in October. It didn't look that great considering that it is a PS5. Well, it was a timed exclusive on a PS5. So hopefully that does look a lot better on the Switch. But Sifu is definitely a very interesting game, or a very interesting mechanic. The more you die, the older you get when you come back. But you also learn new skills, just part of like that whole aging and getting wiser type of concept. Then we got a Final Fantasy VII reunion Crisis Core look that include Cloud and Sephiroth. So it's actually a story before Final Fantasy VII. So that's the remake. I've been playing it on PS5, so I'm kind of interested in this, but I think it's also coming to the Xbox, which it will probably look better on there, so I'll probably get it on there. I know it's coming to the Switch on December 13th this year, so right in time for the holidays if you're wanting to get a, longer game to kind of play through. Then near the end of the presentation, we got an announcement for the Tales of Symphonia remaster. So the Tales series is super popular. I do have Tales of Arise. I haven't played it too much, but I do plan to get into it and possibly buy some of the older Tales games. This will be coming in 2023. And then out of nowhere, we got an announcement for Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, which is a remake of Kirby's Return to Dreamland from the Nintendo Wii. I don't think anyone's really expecting this, but it is Kirby's 30th anniversary next year, and Kirby's resurgence in popularity, I mean, it hasn't really gone anywhere, but he's definitely been very popular as of late. So it doesn't surprise me that they're going to try and, ride that momentum and push this game out. It will be dropping on February 24th, and you can start pre-ordering today. And then to close out the presentation, we got what a lot of people kind of expected. We got a short trailer, not too much gameplay shown, but a short trailer for the new Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, which we did get the new title or the subtitle of the game. It will be called Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So we did also get a release date. It will be dropping on May 12th, 2023. I think that will be a solid release date. It is near the end of spring. They'll have enough time for people to, go back to the original Breath of the Wild if they want to, and then, you know, just dive right into this. But, you know, a lot of people are super hyped for this, and, you know, I don't blame them. But just a few of the disappointments that I wanted to point out was, you know, speaking of Zelda, was I was really looking forward to seeing if they did have this Wind Waker Twilight Princess double pack that a lot of people were saying. I know it wasn't confirmed, but everyone pretty much said, like, it's made, it's going to happen, it's got to be by this year. They want to put out a Zelda game every year and everything like that, and it never materialized. Some of the other announcements, like Metroid Prime 4, Metroid Prime Remaster. I had Metroid Prime 3 on the Wii. I think I beat it. I'm not too sure, but it was definitely enjoyable, and I would like to play the original Metroid Prime and then go right into Metroid Prime 4, but we didn't see that. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll have another Direct at the end of the year, or we'll just have to wait till next year. But, you know, that's what happens when you get your expectations super high for no reason. You can be disappointed. So that pretty much does it. Thank you guys again. If you like this video, leave a like, comment down below. What was your favorite announcement from the Direct, or what was your biggest disappointment that you was hoping would be at the Direct? Subscribe to the channel if you're someone new, and I'll catch you in the next video.